court storming is not going to kill you, and we should all just take a step back and stop being so soft. ESPN, the talking heads at ESPN have proposed that court storming is going to make everyone die. And my brother, I got to tell you, the ACC, right, where Duke is, has had more court stormings than anybody else since 1997. I think the number is 58. And by the way, I don't think anybody's been injured from those. Like, we're talking about Kyle Filipowski at Duke right now and how, he's so banged up, and Caitlin Clark, and she's so banged up, the students ran into them, and they're trying to target them and hurt them. And guess what? Filipowski is fine. We knew he was fine from the very beginning as they're like limping him off the court. Honestly, to me, had these athletes not been so dramatic, had their coaches not been so dramatic, I could maybe get behind this whole deal a little bit better. But the epidemic here is not the actual court storming. It's the talking heads who are trying to kill tradition in the game over something that's a non-issue. We are making something extravagant out of nothing. How many players have been hurt? How many players have been hurt during a court storm? I'll wait. I've Googled this. I've tried to find player is injured during court storm. Caitlin Clark was not. They've already said that Kyle Filipowski is questionable at their home game against Louisville, one of the worst teams in the power conferences in college basketball. It would be hilarious if Filipowski did not play in the game. If he did not play in the game against Louisville because he was nursing his injury from a court storm. This whole deal is absurd to me because no one's been hurt doing it. We know of people being dramatic during it, but we don't know of anybody actually hurt. And there are now media members, like it was Jay Billis, that said, arrest. That's right. Arrest students who come on the court. Worse than that, ESPN also proposed a $1 million fine for anyone who storms the court. And then maybe the craziest thing here, what about if the home team just goes in the student section per Seth Greenberger? What about a 1 minute grace period to get everybody off the court? I truly believe this is maybe the wildest part of the whole deal. And I know I keep saying they're wild, but it shocks me. All of this shocks me. There are coaches who are coming to the podium and saying, yeah, man, we can't have court storming. Namely the Kansas and Duke, whose students don't get to storm the court. Good for you. That's fine. Who have pictures in their office of court storms, whose favorite game memories involve celebrating with the students. And we see field storms in football, and those players don't get hurt. And honestly, it hasn't really been an issue. We don't ever see videos of the star quarterback who's falling down or, I hurt my ankle because the field was stormed. But the court's a different story. What if we were to train Kyle Filipowski that you lost? Get off the court, or any other player in college athletics, you lost, get off the court. Why does it have to be on the students to have less fun? Last night, I was watching the Baylor men's basketball game against TCU, the TCU men's basketball game against Baylor. And one of the points that brought up the media storms the court. Man, when I worked in TV news, as soon as the game was over, I have a camera on my shoulder. I'm only looking through that lens, and I'm running on the court to get film of the team after the game. I could just as easily run into a player. We're not banning media court storms, and those happen no matter the game, much less a tight game against a rival opponent or top 25 team at home. How about security people? The average age of that guy in the yellow vest or the fluorescent green vest has got to be at least 70. Some of them are hobbling around, and I'm sure they're great people, but they're not stopping jack squat from storming these courts. And more than anything, again, coaches have celebrated this since the beginning of time, celebrating with fans, coming out with fans, doing things with fans, and having those very pictures hung up in their office because it is their favorite. It is their favorite memory as an institution. Seth Davis says, how come we never see court storms at NBA games? Are those fans more measured, less enthusiastic? Which they are, by the way. They are much less enthusiastic. No, Seth Davis says, it's because the NBA lets everyone know that if you step on the court, you'll leave the arena in handcuffs. It's really that easy. And then Kendall Kaut, who's one of my favorite basketball analysts, says this, and it is genius. College sports draw much more passion because when it says Baylor, Kansas, North Carolina across the chest, those same fans also go to that place, have more of a connection than professionals where I live in this town on the Jersey where almost none of the players live. Matt Kemp lived in Arlington, Texas when he played for the Dodgers, right? These guys in professional basketball don't really have a connection in 93% of cases to the team or the town they play in. It's not like a school where these guys actually participate there and have their friends in the stands. That's why kids rush the court, because they do care more than the NBA. And guess what? Again, this is a non-issue. No one's gotten hurt. They've only been dramatic. I'm sorry that students have to stop rushing the court because you want to be dramatic. No one has been injured doing this. There is no record of players being hurt doing this. And the only reason you want us to stop having fun to kill one of the greatest traditions literally in sports is because good guy at hoop get hurt but faked it. That doesn't fly with me. And I don't think the big names that are talking about this have any grasp over how fans actually feel, how fans have conducted themselves, and how smooth this has been in the history of college basketball. It's not new. It's been happening like the Heartland College sports guys. It's not new. This isn't just something new to film a TikTok. That was their whole point. It's like, oh, these guys are just trying to film these chads are filming TikToks. No. We've been storming courts for decades. I don't know why we have to kill it now. It's tradition, and it hasn't hurt anybody. Still, despite two of the best athletes, sure, trying to fake it, that doesn't hurt them. Fake being hurt doesn't actually hurt them. It'd be funny if Kyle Filipowski set out against Louisville, who's terrible, just to prove a point, and then it would almost prove even more so how stupid this whole thing is, that he's just not hurt, and we just should keep doing the way that we've done things because nothing bad has happened. This is Locked On Big 12. Coming up, Kansas State, March, Baylor, March, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is where I go when I need tickets. It's like, oh, shoot. The game's coming up in 2 hours. I want to go see the Savannah Ghost Pirates play hockey. How do I do it? I go to Game Time, and it's that easy. I say, Game Time, show me a seat. Show me the seat that I'll sit in. They say, oh, here's the seat. What's the view from the seat look like? Oh, here's the view. How much am I going to pay? Oh, here's what you're going to pay plus the fees. And it's great because I can put in code Vegas100 for $100 off a big game ticket. That's right. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app. Use code Vegas100 for $100 off a big game ticket. Yeah, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. If your ticket's $100, that's free because it's $100 off. Yeah. With Vegas 100. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference right now if you find tickets in the same section, same row for less on a different site. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, and my brother, that is guaranteed.